Prime Minister Scott Morrison called it a forever partnership with old friends. Australia's historic defence alliance with the US and UK, which includes a fleet of nuclear-powered submarines. It's the latest chapter in our nuclear debate that's raged for decades.
1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want nuclear war.
It's happened before.
Ban the bomb. Ban the bomb.
And no doubt it'll happen again.
When do we want? No French test. When do we want? Now.
People power on our streets.
We need to rise up out of our chairs and use our democracy. How lucky are we to have a democracy?
The AUKUS alliance is being hailed as a historic move.
The future of the Indo-Pacific will impact all our futures. To meet these challenges, to help deliver the security and stability our region needs, we must now take our partnership to a new level.
The future of each of our nations, and indeed the world, depends on a free and open Indo-Pacific enduring and flourishing in the decades ahead.
I think it's a tremendous announcement and the right decision for Australia's national security.
It's also a controversial announcement.
Unbelievable. I had no idea that they were up to this. How long have they been negotiating this?
Dr. Helen Caldicott is an internationally recognised anti-nuclear campaigner.
Why on earth they want to build nuclear submarines in Adelaide? Search me.
Dr. Caldicott spent her life trying to rid the world of nuclear weapons. She believes international armament corporations are behind today's announcement.
The issue of nuclear war is sort of subliminal now, but it's there.
Australia's nuclear stance has been nothing short of a yo-yo, with alternative governments supporting and then opposing it. It's led to decades of radioactive debate. The uranium argument began in the 50s with British nuclear weapon testing at Maralinga in South Australia. The 70s saw French nuclear testing in the Pacific.
Over 9 months, 75% of Australians rose up, marches in the city streets.
Across the ditch in Auckland Harbour, Greenpeace's flagship, Rainbow Warrior, was sunk, killing a photographer. 2 French intelligence officers were charged and convicted of manslaughter. The 80s saw the anti-nuclear movement at its peak.
What do we want? Disarmament. When do we want it? Now.
Hundreds of thousands took to the streets of Australia's capital cities. Dr. Helen Caldicott was at the forefront of those protests.
Well, they're all forgotten. In the ides of time, they're forgotten. People don't talk about it.
For former Prime Minister Bob Hawke, the uranium debate seemed a bit of a puzzle, and it's been a political game of ping-pong ever since.
It's a big step for Australia, but one we're quite capable of making.
Dennis Mole is a retired Royal Australian Navy submarine commodore.
Long overdue. There's been debate for many decades probably in Australia as to whether we should have nuclear submarines or not, but I think the professionals who operate submarines have all been in no doubt whatsoever that this is the way we should have gone a very long time ago.
He believes Australia has to move with the times.
It's momentous probably from the point of view that the Americans have never agreed to releasing nuclear technology to anybody other than the UK that they did to get them into the nuclear submarine program back in the 60s. So, yeah, it's momentous in that regard.
Nuclear-powered submarines are considered more potent than conventional subs because of their stealth.
The bottom line, it's all about speed, range and endurance.
Our Prime Minister was later at pains to assure the Australian public.
This is not about acquiring nuclear weapons. Australia has no interest in that, no plans for it, no policy for it, no contemplation of it. It's not on our agenda.
But Dr. Helen Caldicott's not convinced.
They say they're not going to carry nuclear weapons. I don't trust them.